Indonesia's men's singles is making its way into the big league. For the first time since 2008, the Southeast Asian nation had two of its young guns squaring off in a BWF World Superseries final. With Jonathan Christie and Anthony Ginting jostling for top honors at the recent Victor Korea Open, it is evident that Indonesia has made progress in the men's solo event. This latest achievement has inspired many in the national team. Last year's BWF World Junior Championships silver medalist, Chico Aura Dwi Wardoyo, is one of Indonesia's brightest prospects in men's singles, and the teenager is hungry to test himself at the highest level.
I dream of becoming an Olympic champion, a winner at the World Championships and at the All England. But before that, I have to take it step by step, working myself up from the international challenge and then to the Grand Prix goal and then the World Superseries.
Speaking to us from the country's training center in Jakarta, the 19-year-old right-hander shared with us how it all began for him. As a native of Papua, almost everyone around him was into football, but Chico had his head turned towards badminton by his father. By the time he was 15, Chico was whisked away to the country's capital, joining Exist Badminton Club, where he experienced the nation's lively club scene.
Back then, Papa told me that if you play badminton, you risk fewer injuries than if you had played football. So he encouraged me to pick up the racket instead. In 2013, I was asked by a friend to try out the club scene in Jakarta. I had to discuss this with my parents, and both of them gave me their blessings. When I was at Exist, I needed to go through a selection trial before getting a spot. Jakarta is good as it has a competitive badminton environment, but in Papua, people enjoy their football more. It's definitely more intense in Jakarta when you compare the two places.
But moving far away from the comforts of home wasn't always going to be easy for any teenager. Fortunately for Chico, he had family around him in Jakarta.
Initially, when I wanted to leave Papua, it was very difficult for me. I was still very young. I felt sad because I knew I was going to miss being around my parents. But when I arrived at Exist, I was fortunate to have an older sibling with me, so I was able to talk to somebody. After 2 to 3 months, I was all right.
As soon as he settled down, Chico's talent began to blossom. The lanky teenager started making waves on the local circuit, and the national selectors were quick to spot him. To be part of the Indonesian national team was a proud moment, not only for him, but for Papua as well.
Back then, I competed in the Indonesian Junior Masters in 2015, and I won. I was then called up to the provisional national team squad in early 2016, in which I trained for 3 months. I took part in the Asian Junior Championships that year, while still with the provisional squad. As soon as I finished competing at the tournament, I was accepted into the senior national team. I feel proud because I'm the first from Papua to have made it this far and to compete for Indonesia. Here at the National Training Center, the training and physical intensity is much higher than the clubs. And here, I've better sparring partners.
Refining his natural talent in a high-quality training environment, Chico thrived. At last year's BWF World Junior Championships in Spain, he marched all the way to the boys' singles final and finished runner-up. While he was surprised he went as far as he did, Chico couldn't help but wonder how different the result would have been if things had gone his way during the showdown against China's Sun Feixiang.
It was my first time competing at the World Juniors last year, so I didn't expect to go as far as the final. I was only concerned about doing well in every round and progressing in the tournament. After the final, I had a tinge of regret. During the first game, we were tied at 19 all, but I just couldn't find the points to win it. If I had won that game, it may have fueled my belief to win the second game and the title. But I'm still proud of myself because it was unexpected.
Tidak menyangka juga bisa sampai situ.
This year, after celebrating his 19th birthday in June, Chico won't be returning to the tournament in Yogyakarta as he has moved on to find his place among the big boys on the senior circuit. The transition hasn't been easy, but the gritty youngster isn't afraid of the hard work.
Bedanya main junior sama senior.
There's a big difference when you compete on the junior level and the senior level. In the juniors, the age gap between us isn't that much. It's capped at under 19. But once you're with the seniors, your opponents could be so much older than you. I need to work hard to make up for my inexperience. I have to fight any feelings of fatigue or laziness. I just need to think about my folks back home who are always supporting me. They're my inspiration during difficult times.
Saya paling ingat itu dah, ingat orang tua.
Indonesia's latest stars in men's singles will be aware that there will be greater expectations on them after their breakthrough in Korea. And with the likes of Chico Aura Dwi Wardoyo patiently waiting in the wings, the country's revival in the solo format is in line for more exciting times ahead.
Mungkin di tunggal putra kan.
The men's singles team here may mainly be made up of young players, but we have the belief in our potential and talent. Together with the rest of them, we believe all of us are capable of bringing more glory to Indonesia in the near future.
Ada membawa gelar buat Indonesia ke depan.